In the film There's Something About Mary, Ted is besotted with Mary, played by Cameron Diaz. He says at one point, "She knows my name. Some of my best friends don't know my name." To be known is an incredible thing. We crave face-to-face in which we know and are known. So ask yourself, how many people know your nationality? Okay, how many people know your eye colour? How many people know your birthday? How many people know your middle name? How many people know your blood type? See, at each stage, I'm guessing that the number of people shrinks, but as the numbers decrease, so the level of intimacy grows. Perhaps only 1 or 2 people know your blood type, but they are likely to be very close to you. So what about this question? How many people know the number of hairs on your head? Jesus says, your Father in heaven does. Matthew 10 from verse 29, Jesus says, "Are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny? Yet not one of them will fall to the ground apart from the will of your Father, and even the very hairs of your head are all numbered, so don't be afraid. You are worth more than many sparrows." It's beautiful to know that God has this level of care and knowledge about us. He doesn't just count our hairs, he numbers them. Isn't that amazing? You know, this one is, 13,026, this one is 13,027. He has numbered the hairs on our head. It will be easy to think that this is just a statement about some kind of abstract omniscience, God's all-knowing character. As though numbering our hairs was some particular parlor trick that God wheels out to impress the dinner guests. As though numbering our hairs merely demonstrates God's computing power. He can number all the sand on the seashore and he happens to be able to number the hairs on your head. Is it like that? No. This is not a display of mere knowledge. There's nothing mere about knowing in the biblical sense. This is about God's intimate knowledge. Some people know my middle name, very few people know my blood type, but the Father alone, he numbers the hairs on my head. This is deeply personal knowledge, and it shows an intense care. I know every contour to my daughter's face, but my Father in heaven knows every hair on my head. What purpose could there be in knowing my hair count? What good is it to know such trivia about me, and yet the Father knows it about me? He loves me and cares for me down to the smallest detail. He knows me better than I know myself. For the last few days, we've been thinking about the dangers of witnessing for Christ. We are like sheep among wolves. 2 days ago, we learnt that this calls for God-given wisdom. We must be wise as serpents and innocent as doves, as, yesterday, we shout it from the rooftops. But as we go into this perilous public mission field, Jesus doesn't just urge us to know God's wisdom, he also assures us of God's love. We need both. We need the wisdom of the serpents, but we also need to know God's love. Do you ever worry that God's love for you is vague and impersonal? Perhaps you trust that he has a plan for the cosmos, but he's a little hazy on the details of your own situation? Nonsense. You are infinitely and intimately loved. Do you worry that no one really knows you? Maybe you don't really know yourself. We're all mysteries to ourselves to some degree. How amazing to think that we are known. God knows us better than we know ourselves. God knows us better than we know ourselves. And he's not bored by us. He's not repulsed by us. He's not contemptuous of us. He is glad to know us. He studies us. And he knows us in intimate detail. And one day when we are face to face, 1 Corinthians 13 assures us that we will know even as we are fully known. Friend, even the hairs on your head are numbered.